Okay, guys, so moving right along with my top 10 favorite Marvel superheroes. And yeah, now, admittedly, Chris, Mount Vernon Kid, if you're watching this, this is going to sound a little odd because when you did your video, I mean, not video, but like post online saying what were your top 10 favorite Marvel superheroes, and I did my list in response. I was like, I'm not really feeling that list because I really didn't think about. I was more like a knee-jerk thing. But I really did think about it, and there were some changes on here that made me go, yeah, this feels more right. And yeah, so yeah, number 8, we have Hawkeye. Now you may be thinking, really, Hawkeye? He's in your top 10 place? I know, why of all characters Clint Barton is on this list? Like, this has been a weird list so far. You had Beta Ray Bill, Thor, like a Thor supporting character. Then you have Flash Thompson, not even the true Venom. What's going on, DPZ? Well, like I said, this is my list and therefore my rules, first off. But yeah, that was, I have got my reasons to love Clint Barton as a character and why he is, why he is on this list and why he is pretty high on this list. So anyway, the big thing with why I dig Clint Barton as a character is because he's very much the most human character on the Avengers. He's just a guy with a bow and arrow who trained himself as a circ. Even like Green Arrow had like tech he could upgrade his arrows with and all of that and had tons of money. Clint was just a guy from a circus who was really good at shooting arrows. And came from nothing. He was a circus. He ran away to the circus, literally, after his father beat him so badly that he lost his hearing. Yeah, a lot of people forget that Hawkeye is actually deaf. A lot of people forget. Even I forget that Hawkeye is deaf. He has hearing aids, and he's really good at reading lips, so he can understand people. But anyway, what was I going to say? But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like him is that he physically has to put himself through the ringer day in and day out to essentially keep up with literal gods and monsters that he has to either team up with or fight on a daily basis. And I really dig that about him, is that he's literally putting himself through the ringer constantly to do that and really pushes himself as a person to keep going. He's always like, yeah, I'm fighting alongside a super soldier, a green monster man, and a god, and a super smart dude in a giant metal suit. Yeah. And you may be thinking, oh, but what about Black Widow? She's got, Black Widow is a normal human being. Not necessarily. She also has like a bit of a pseudo super soldier serum in her. It's hard to explain. But yeah, she's also a meta-human to an extent. So, yeah. When you really think about it, Clint is the most human Avenger, and I'm talking comics because, yeah, Falcon, he can talk to birds. Black Panther, he's endowed with the power of the Panther God. She-Hulk, need I say more? Freaking, he's really, when you think about it, most of the time, the only guy without powers. He's the only guy who has to depend on just a bow and arrow to keep going and keep fighting no matter what. And that's what I really dug about him as a character. Now, admittedly, he was always a character that I didn't care about for a while, but what made me care about him as a character was Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run, which, by the way, is not only one of the best comics out there in Marvel, but one of the best comics, period. If you haven't already, go check out the Matt Fraction run of Hawkeye. That's what made me really appreciate this character and really put why he's on this list as a character. So, yeah, it's not just because of Matt Fraction's run for the character, but also, it made me go back and appreciate that character on a whole. So, yeah. Anyway, so the other character I want to mention real quick, because this is my list, is the other Hawkeye, Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop is also my second favorite female character. Songbird being number one in my terms of favorite female characters in Marvel. But Kate Bishop is just this awesome sharpshooter. She's very spunky, she's very quick-witted, and doesn't let her past as the daughter of a crime lord get the best of her. She really is the best supporting character for Clint. He's very, whenever he becomes so self-destructive, she's the one to pick up, usually the one to pick up the pieces. And when Clint was really having one of his major self-destruct days, Steve came to him and said, "Look, if you're not up to being an Avenger anymore, quit, because I got another Hawkeye, and she's twice the shooter as you are." Even Clint admits that she's the better archer than him. And when Captain America says you're ready, she's ready, and she wasn't even 18 yet to be an Avenger, you get some major props. So yeah, definitely Kate Bishop. Anyway, where was I going with it? But yeah, so that's what I dug about Hawkeye as a character, was that this is just a dude who just has bows and arrows. I mean, it's not like with Green Arrow, who has all this money and could get whatever resources he wanted. Clint literally has to, build his own arrow, any trick arrows he thinks of, or anything like that. He has to do it all by himself, and has to train himself, and I really dig and respect that about the character. So that's why he was on this list, and why he's a little higher than Beta Ray or Venom. Because, yeah, Venom, it's Flash Thompson, and he's got a suit, he's got the alien suit. And then you have Beta Ray Bill, who's a guy who is endowed with all the powers of Thor, and he's a frickin' alien. So yeah, the regular Joe is higher than two other characters, but I'm not trying to discredit either character, to be honest. I'm not trying to do that. They're on my top 10 list for a reason, so yeah. So Clint is just a great character, very witty, but at the same time, he's, he is very human, and not just because, he up for the reasons I mentioned, that he's just a regular dude with a bow and arrow. He's, he has his own vices, he has his own, moral dilemmas, and sometimes he just gets himself into a lot of trouble, and it's his fault. And as us as human beings, that's something we can relate to, because sometimes we become our own worst enemy, and Clint is his own worst enemy most of the time. But he's learned, he's gone from a D-list Iron Man villain. Yeah, a lot of people forget that he was an Iron Man villain for a while, and then became one of the major characters in the Marvel Universe. It took a long time, but he did it. So there you go, guys. That is at number 8, we have Clint Barton, Hawkeye. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of Hawkeye as a character? And once again, remember that this is my list, so keep that in mind. Not to discredit any of your characters if you think they should be higher or lower on the list. That's totally fine. But yeah, I just thought this would be fun. So once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.